Hi, welcome back. This is Alone with You, and we'll be continuing our story. I think I just woke up on the next week. It was great. Alright. This is literally where I left off last time. Hold on. It's really loud in my ear. Use a headset microphone. Alright, let's talk to the AI core. With the week already gone, we need to step things up a bit. The recent storm has me worried. The holograms have made some progress with the escape ship, but it just isn't ready yet. I'm afraid I'm going to have to send you out again this week. There are some resources we badly need. We can access the medical wing of Colony B, which might let us get some necessary medical supplies. You can also head to Tower E of the comms relay, where we can try to send a distress signal into deep space. Deep into space. Another facility of the agrodomes is open. We need to head there to find a way to extend your food supply. And you can also reach a cave's refinery now. It's imperative that we find more fuel for the ship if possible. As always, the choice is yours. You can plot a course to any one of these locales from the shuttle bay. Fuck, I don't even know where I want to go. This place is going to shit, though. Let's go to a comms relay. Winnie was cool. I don't know if the order in which things are done affects anything, but hey, we'll see. The signal tower normally handles all our deep space transmissions, but the rain must be affecting it because I can't detect that it works any longer. If we can get that signal back in action, I thought we could try to use it differently, to send a distress beacon to those shipping lanes I mentioned. If it gets picked up, perhaps we'll stand a better chance of hitching a ride when we finally get the escape ship off the ground. Head to the top of the tower and see if you can find out what's going on with the transmission equipment. Alright. Something definitely is being affected. I'm reading unusual levels of dampness and corrosion there. Oh. Huh. That's the right floor. You should be able to see 3 terminals in there, as well as a 4th control station. Can you please check them out for me? You bet. I appreciate it. This relay appears to be completely shut off. It's likely it was powered down automatically due to a failure or environmental breach, but it didn't reactivate. Perhaps there is a control panel that will help you activate it. This relay is operating, but it's stuck in some kind of command loop. It won't transmit correctly until it's rebooted. You should be able to find a control station that will let you hard reset this relay. This relay is functioning, but it's not sending the signal that we want. It's transmitting its previous code. If you can find its control station, you can feed it our new distress signal and hope that we're heard. Now we know what the issue is with these relays. Let's find each one's control station and get everything back on track. The transmission terminal isn't functioning. It looks like it's tied to those 3 panels on that floor. Alright. Now I'm gonna go. It's a worn old repair handbook for telecommunications equipment. Many pages have been torn out, and the book almost appears discarded. Have you ever repaired equipment such as this kind of tower before? I don't see any reference in your records. Absolutely. Well, if that is true, then 2 things are certain. We should be in good hands, and I need to keep better records. In any case, we should probably focus on getting this tower's communications array functioning again. Alright, well. Those large bundles of cable shake all the way from the top of the tower to the floors below. It looks like it's a series of pages from that repair manual found. They've been torn out and notes have been written all over. The notes are complex. They look like various calculations regarding signal strength, positioning, distance, and other factors. My guess is that someone was trying to figure out various ways of bouncing a signal from here for the best long-range results. You found the control panel for the blue panel on the top floor. You should see a clearly marked power switch there. Are you going to turn the relay back on? Yes. You found the control panel for the red panel on the top floor. It needs a hard reset. You can push the heavy-duty power switch off and on again to do this. Will you reset the control panel? Yes. You found another one of those pages. The story on it appears to continue again. Here, I'll read it. Paula shut down for a while and closed off contact with the dark. It's not that she turned him off specifically, but rather tuned him out. 4 days, she stewed over their conversation while going about her duties with the same mechanical precision as always. Was it right? Was she giving up? There she was, trapped in her little castle, until the bad weather forced her to abandon it and find a new one. Always on the move, never meeting another soul. But she was struggling, wasn't she? She's trying. How could she be giving up? But Paula thought long and hard about the conversation again. Regardless of the doubt she felt, Paula knew she couldn't give in to the dark's chiding and goading. She knew help wasn't coming, but she just couldn't accept defeat. Not yet. That's where the batch of pages ends. We found the control panel for the green panel on the top floor. We just need to feed it our new distress beacon. It's up to you now. Are you going to swap out the signals and transmit the new beacon? Yes. Okay. You've dealt with all those control panels. You can head back up to the top floor. Let's make sure the array is working correctly. I've picked up increased seismic activity over there. The tremor didn't seem too serious. Are you okay? All good. Okay, be careful as you ascend, please. Man, things are getting serious. The panels should all be functioning correctly now. You can activate the master terminal there once you're ready. Alright. Okay, let's just flip this to power cycle. Let's just flip this to power cycle the transmission tower, and then you can come back. Are you going to flip the switch? Yes. Did it blow up? Oh shit. Flubji, are you still there? My rings are very faint. I registered a huge explosion. What happened? Ow, my head. Just hang in there. Take it slowly. You've been in an awful explosion. The entire tower was disintegrated. You're so lucky to still be alive. The blast threw you quite far away, but thankfully you're okay. I was really worried there. Activating those relays is what set off the tower. I wonder, was it rigged to do that, or was that some kind of malfunction? As you make your way back, let's do two things. One, see if you can find anything salvageable in the debris that was thrown from the tower. Two, let's see if we can figure out why the tower exploded in the first place. Scan any parts you find and let's get some answers. Yeah, that was fucking crazy. Things are really kicking off now. Here's a part. No. Here's a part. That's one of the highly sophisticated system boards from the tower. Each one is like several powerful computers on a chip, but this one shows leaking transistors and all kinds of wear. If it was in this conduit when we activated the tower switch, it could have backfired. Without seeing all the options, however, I can't determine if this was the cause. Please keep looking. West. Damage board. Continue north. Scan this. That's one of the switching mechanisms from the tower. Maybe it's because of the blast, but it doesn't appear to be seated correctly. If this switch was compromised in some way, it could have caused a spark or unwanted current and thus the explosion. We can't really be sure until we find other debris, so please continue and keep an eye out. Continue to keep an eye out. Whatever that component was, it was too heavily damaged in the explosion to be of any use to us. Alright. Continue north. West. Jeez, this place is confusing. It looks like that deep space signal converter survived the explosion amongst that other rubble and wreckage. I'll be able to use this. Now you just need to find 3 additional communication parts before you can come back home. Well, fuck, thanks. Keep me just out here for show. Good, you found the long-range radio booster from the tower. We're in luck, it's intact, so I can make use of the scan data to help us with the escape ship. You know, after the Rift event separated the 2 colonies, the storms made sending even radio signals very difficult. I think only Miss Laura was skilled enough to find a way to cut through the interference. Even I couldn't do that. I suppose that sometimes human ingenuity is far more impressive than even the most advanced technology. Yeah, perhaps you're living proofs of this. As the last survivor, you have been able to do so much that the others couldn't. So much more than me, certainly. Anyway, I should let you get on with your search. I shouldn't keep you out in that rain any longer than necessary. Now you just need to find 2 additional communication parts before you can come back home. You fucking don't tell me what to do. I can come home if I want. And let's go west. We're lucky that this receiver is intact. It will help immensely with boosting the capabilities of the escape ship, so we aren't totally flying blind there. Now you just need to find 1 additional communication part before you can come back home. There's a control module that's barely kept together. If it was like this in the tower, it could have malfunctioned. If the controller routed signals incorrectly, I suppose that could have caused the explosion. Well, it looks like any number of elements could have malfunctioned in the tower. Do you have any thoughts on which component might be the culprit? That makes sense. With all the damage that board demonstrated, it could have triggered an unwanted cascading failure. If we had more time, perhaps we could know for sure. Perhaps only Miss Laurie could help us determine the most likely scenario. But that is a mystery for another day. Right now, you should try to finish finding those salvageable parts so we can get you home. The heat from the blast completely disfigured that hardware. You'll have to keep moving. You found the tower's translation module. That will let us communicate regardless of language, even if the translations are a bit off sometimes. Okay, you found all the parts we'll likely be able to salvage from the mess. We really have not had the best of luck today. There isn't anything more you can do there. Head northwest and I'll guide you back to the shuttle. Just head over that ridge and you'll eventually end up back at the shuttle. Oh, baby. Tower E looks to be completely destroyed. You were fortunate not to be harmed. I suppose we both are. Well, there isn't anything more you can accomplish here or there. It'll be best if you return home. Well, yeah, I suppose. Let's go. Let's go return home. don't dawdle. Come see me right away. No, I'm dawdling a little bit. Okay, all the data you collected today is synced and ready to be worked on. You did well there. Since you went to the comms relay, you'll be able to visit Miss Laurie in the Holosim Chamber tonight. You can retire to your quarters when you're ready. I'll call for you when the Holosim Chamber is available. God, I gotta talk to her again. This will be a long, long game, given all this. It's time, Flubgy. The Holosim Chamber is ready for you now. Just head in when you're ready. Have a good evening. Well done, guys. Oh, you came back. I'm glad. Sorry about that. I was just preoccupied with something and almost didn't notice you came in. Almost noticed you come in. What is that? Oh, well, since you came here last time, the AI has got me working around the clock. Simulations, projections, all that stuff. For your ship. You know, I was actually thinking a bit more about what we spoke about last week, about when we all first came here and how difficult it was. And I just realized I spent all that time talking about myself and even asked you about it. I asked about you. So what was it like for you when we all arrived here 16 years ago? It was fine. Yeah, I could see that. You're dealing with all of this, okay, so that makes sense. Flubgy, you remind me of William, in a way. He was always so strong, or at least he seemed to be. Maybe it was because he was older, but he always had this great sense of perspective. Sometimes I think he should have been more than maintenance chief. When the Rift event changed everything, I suddenly saw that I wasn't the only one having such a difficult time. Even Williams was affected. I don't know what happened to me yet, but I wonder, was I better off for being kind of isolated? Or worse? Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting lost in my own thoughts again. I like it. Well, thank you. I guess it's been a long time since I had someone I could really talk to, you know? So here we are, moving on to another topic. There was one thing I wanted to ask you about. Can you guess what it is? Oh, well, this is a surprise. You did find more of my story. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. It really does seem like I was having a hard time with things, doesn't it? But what's this one line? Paula knew she couldn't give in to the Dark's chiding goading. I guess that's good, right? The Dark was right. She hated to admit it. The story seems so helpless. She didn't know whether the Dark's criticisms held any merit. The time was running out. It sounds like she had difficulty coming to a decision. It's so strange to read words that you supposedly wrote but have no memory of writing. It doesn't even feel like me anymore. The other me was dealing with her situation, obviously, but I guess I'm dealing with something entirely different. In a way, we're different now. This is difficult, but thank you for bringing these pages to me. In a way, they're helping me understand what I am a bit better. Well, since you're here, what else do you think might be interesting to discuss? My scarf. Again with that scarf. Well, that wasn't exactly what I was getting at, but alright, let's talk about your scarf. You said last time it was warm, but really your suit should regulate all that. Then again, it's probably low on power and not as efficient as it should be. I don't think I've ever seen any other colonist wearing something like that. I mean, before... Where did you get it? I could say back home, I made it, or it was a gift. I made it. Really? I didn't take you for that kind of person who could crochet a scarf. I hope that's not too presumptuous. Anyway, I can see how it'd be useful out there. You could wipe condensation off your helmet, patch up your suit with it if you had to, stuff like that. You know what? That gives me an idea. You know, about the comms tower, the array in that thing really was your best chance of sending a signal. But kind of like your scarf, maybe there's a simpler way to do what we need. Something that uses older tech that I can patch together. Well, since you're here, what else would you like? Comms tower. The comms tower, oh, you mean Tower E? Well, that wasn't what I was thinking about, but sure, we can talk about that. The tower is much less habitable than the other one. It's like the space between two walls, crammed with equipment and writing. All necessary stuff, but pretty ugly. Wait, you look like I'm saying something stupid. Am I saying something stupid? What's going on with the tower? It blew up. It what? Oh, I see. Something triggered some kind of explosion. Wow, that's really unfortunate. What could possibly have done that? What a terrible turn of events. Without that specialized array, you won't be able to get a distress signal far enough for Hudson Cartier back home to pick it up. The other equipment wasn't built for that. The quakes must have really destabilized it. You must have been thrown quite some way. That would explain why your suit looks even more dinged up. Well, I'm happy to see you weren't injured, but I do wonder now, without that tower, how will you get a signal out? Any ideas? I guess that's why I'm here, to solve problems. Let me think. The problem is that Tower E was our best signal, but maybe we don't need our best. If there's another transponder or booster, we could at least get something into space. If we can't use the powerful antennas that were in Tower E, maybe we can patch a strong signal together by starting with some weaker ones. Like I said before, there are redundant systems throughout the towers. If another part of the comms relay is accessible, there's still a chance you can find something. I'll give the AI some specific things to look for. That way it could guide you, and hopefully you'll find some equipment we can patch together. Thanks so much. You're welcome. I really do cherish these visits, you know. I mean, hologram or not, I feel better knowing I can help, but also just that we get to talk. Well, it seems like our time is up again. The AI probably needs its cycles to keep Colony A functioning and to keep you safe, you know, until you manage to leave. I'm glad we had this spirited discussion, and I'm sorry to hear about the tower. Until next time, I better keep working, however. If you find the next part of that story, please scan it so I can see. I know it's a lot to ask, but it would really help. Goodbye for now. I wonder how I look under that helmet. You never get to see my dude's face besides his eyes. And on to another adventure. Hold on, guys. Well, oh, hello again. Could you please come see me in the core? I just want to ask you about something. Well, what, fool? Look. Do you love me? Nah, fucking. That'd be an odd question. Do you know what today is? It's okay, Flipgy. I wasn't really expecting you to. Today is my birthday. Aww. More accurately, my date of activation was today, back in 2048, when you all arrived. That means I've been active for exactly 16 years. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, Flubgy. I appreciate the sentiment. Normally, I would not mention such an arbitrary bit of information, but, well, I suppose that now it is just the two of us. I felt the need to share this with you. I noticed how much happier the hologram seemed to be after your evening meetings, because you and they shared information. So I thought I'd give it a try, I suppose you would say. In any case, you have 3 more areas you can visit today. Head to the shuttle bay when you're ready. Aww, this AI is cute. What should I call her? I should call... well, it's technically it's not really a guy or a girl, but... since I'm a guy, it's gonna be a girl. I should come up with a good name. Allie's not a bad name. Let's go to the Agrodomes. Bug it. I want some food. I'm a man who likes to eat. That's for damn sure. According to her records, Miss Bardois stated that the research dome was one of her favorite places. It was also one of the colony's most important facilities. The research here allowed major advances in food processing efficiencies. Hopefully, you can find some research that might help us extend your food supply for the journey back to Earth. The decontamination chamber seems to be working. That's a good sign. It should be finished momentarily. Didn't work last time. I'm wondering how this stuff is working. Now, this is a rare site here on Epsilon Iridian B. This outer dome was used for testing research species. It was originally a much more structured lab-like environment, but over the years, Miss Bourgeois transferred it into this garden. If I recall correctly, she and I debated the merits of such an environment. She stated that having the garden wasn't just about science, it was about something more human. I regret that I did not fully understand at that time. A pretty little place. Hey, I can't scan that? Oh, that fucking sucks. Let me scan my shit, man. Well, gotta go in, I guess. I'm reading a high concentration of foreign air particles from the lab on the west side of that research dome. I think you should check that out first. Check equipment. It's a portable analyzer of some kind. I'm not sure what use it would be right now, so please keep looking around. Ugh. I don't know, man. North lab, east lab. Let's go here. The tube was breached, and the plant inside has mutated somewhat. Toxins from the tube environment must have escaped into this room. Okay. Ashley Hainsworth. My scan indicates this is the corpse of Chief Genetics Researcher Ashley Hainsworth. The skeletal remains are consistent with the osteoporosis she suffered. It appears Miss Hainsworth used exo braces to regain some mobility as her legs were severely affected. The braces remain on the skeleton. Miss Hainsworth was manually writing notes in her research here. They read, I finally confronted Bourgeois about her inability to lead with direction. We had a pretty heated argument, I'll be honest. I didn't think the chief had it in her. She clung to the hopeless belief that the team would see things through. I thought she would never give up. But after a while, she came back and told me she thought I might be right, to think of it, after all this time. But she made me agree not to tell the rest of the team of her acquiescence, to not disrupt her precious ecosystem. So I've got them using the portable analyzer to test our newly grown samples. That's it for personal notes. Perhaps we should see if there are any other research documents. Well, there are. The notes contain specifics on Miss Hainsworth's research. They indicate she was combining trace amounts of the toxin with other elements. According to this, she was trying to run more experiments at once than Miss Bourgeois approved to, in an attempt to save time. Tests progressing faster than expected, she wrote. Miss Hainsworth focused on bryophyte plants. To isolate those first. Do you know what a bryophyte is? Humanoid. Yes, of course. Think of a plant that doesn't produce flowers or seeds or have internal veins. Moss, for example. The team must have been trying to isolate which plants were most susceptible to carrying the toxin to understand how it traveled. Ms. Hainsworth was focused on bryophytes, specifically mosses, but her research is incomplete. If we can get a couple of samples, perhaps we can finish it. Look around the dome, see if you can find some equipment that looks like a bulky laptop, a portable analyzer. I have an idea. No, I already fucking found it. The terminal still some local data that didn't get properly synced with the colony network. It looks like Miss Hainsworth and Mr. Jagger continued their private conversation regarding Miss Bourgeois' leadership capabilities. Ashley. So, I had it out with her, with Bourgeois. You did? What happened? We had quite a row. Was surprised, actually, but in the end she agreed with me. I don't know if she wanted to, you know? The irritating sense of duty she has. Holy, I can't believe you did it. So that's it then. We're going to proceed with your research plan? Looks like we'll show her, Arlo. No more pussyfooting around. We'll get this done. Fast. Better than with her restrictive rules. I just hope we're making the right decision here. Things have been so crazy lately. I hope we can come back from this. Anything else? Anything else? Alright, main lobby. And I do have this. There you go. That analyzer already has data on it from Miss Hainsworth's experiments, but we can use it to continue her work. If we can figure out how the toxin works more specifically, maybe I can protect your food supply for the journey home. Take the analyzer out to the garden. Hopefully we can find a way to hook it up and find some specimens. Got it. This isn't where I need to be right now? Well, alright. Well, this isn't where I need to be right now. Okay. Fuck you. I want to explore my own damn self. But, gotta go to the garden, I suppose. What am I gonna be analyzing? Obviously not that. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe this. Oh. Okay, the analyzer is connected and online. What we need to do is find samples for Miss Hainsworth's field of research. So let's start by finding some samples of bryophytes. Remember, plants without vascular system, mosses for the most part. There must be samples in the garden. Find and scan 3 of them. That should give us enough data for the analyzer. No. There we go. The sample is small, but there is Alocominium palustre there. This ribbed bog moss will suit our bryophyte test. Alright. Here's this. You scan some Saphagnum centrale, whatever. Otherwise known as common peat moss. Good work. This is a bryophyte we can use to test. Alright. And here's us. You found a healthy patch of Polytrichum juniperium, juniper moss. This is indeed a bryophyte we can use to test. Well, that makes 3 samples. We use the portable analyzer to process them. Alright, let's do it. Good. I've got the data from those bryophyte plants now. I'll be able to run simulations and tests back here. I think we're on to something. Head to the north lab inside the dome and see what was being worked on there. Let's see. Ooh. The ruined coat contained trace elements of dust and debris from the surrounding wreckage. I can also see some DNA around one of the cuffs. The coat belonged to geneticist Dale Zurikowski. There are small food wrappers in the pocket, as well as a small, worn, folded-up photograph. The photo depicts the dome staff looking tired after what was probably a long day. In it are Leslie Borgel, Ashley Hainsworth, Florent Marchard, Mr. Zurikowski, and Matsuko Bradley. Oh, shit. In the photo, Mr. Zurikowski appears to be looking at Miss Bradley, one of the other geneticists on the team. What do you think he's doing? Why do you think he's doing this? He likes her. Well, now, do you really think so? So this photo might have captured what was intended to be a private moment of longing. Very interesting. I'm guessing. These notes were by Dale Zurikowski, one of the other geneticists. Appears he was working under Miss Hainsworth's direction. Pterophyte strains 1 through 4. No conclusive results, it says. There's a chart that indicates more tests were intended. So Mr. Zurikowski was focused on pterophyte plants from the domes. Do you remember what a pterophyte is? Not really. Unlike a bryophyte, a pterophyte plant does have a vascular system, but no flowers. It uses spores to reproduce. Good examples are ferns and what are sometimes called horsetails, important animals to Earth-like ecosystems. We need to complete Mr. Zurikowski's research so we can be sure our food systems are safe. Let's deal with these pterophyte plants. The analyzer is already hooked up, so let's return to the garden and find some specimens. Maybe I don't fucking want to. The terminal's local storage has been severely damaged, but it can still read external media, such as data cards. I guess I'll have to find a data card. Well. Alright, let's go. Since the analyzer is all set up, let's go to work. Find 3 samples of petrophytes and use the analyzer when you're done. Well, here's one. You found a healthy patch of Asplenium scolopendrium, a cristata fern. This is indeed a pteridophyte. We can use the test. Jesus Christ, these are words are getting complicated now. You've scanned some Equistum arvidens, otherwise known as a field horsetail. Good work. This is a pteridophyte. We can use the test. God damn. I am looking like a fucking retard right now, trying to pronounce these words. And I'm guessing I'm gonna scan the trees and all that shit next, because it's a vascular system. Oh, please get out of the way. I need to charge my battery. Good choice. This tree fern, or Cybotium cummingale, whatever the hell, will make a good specimen. This scan will help us in our tests. That's 3. That should be good enough. Use the portable analyzer to process the sample. The samples. Alright, there we go. Alright. That's 3. That should be good enough. Alright. And then we can press that. I processed and received the data from the pteridophyte plants you scanned. Hopefully this will help with our food supply issues. There's only one area left. Head to the East Lab and let's complete our mission. There are extensive notes quite neatly organized on another type of plant. These appear to be Miss Matsuko Bradley, another geneticist at the Dome. Like with the previous research, there is no real recorded success. Ms. Bradley wrote, despite large angiosperm sample population, have not yet isolated toxin. Ms. Bradley was tasked with testing angiosperm specimen plant. Are you familiar with angiosperms? Really? There's no need to be offended. Angiosperms are, of course, plants with both vascular systems and flowers. Ms. Bradley was focused on those. If she was looking at angiosperms, there are likely samples such as trees, crops, and deciduous plants in the garden. Let's try the portable analyzer one more time. We can configure it for angiosperms and find those specimens to scan. I mean, each answer was kind of sassy, though. Oh, that's a standard 2D data card. That makes sense. Often researchers made manual backups as well as allowing me to store things on the network. There has been so many disruptions since this all started. So much useful data has been rendered useless or inaccessible, especially since I lost contact with Colony B. If you can find a terminal that still has a function code part, you might be able to read it. Well, yeah, I already found that. Terminal's damaged too heavily and can't be used. Alright, well. I guess I got the data card. I think it was in here. Yeah, it was. Reading the data card now. It's a bit slow since the terminal is in such poor repair. Success. The data card contains several research document backups that don't seem to pertain to the task at hand. However, there is a personal file here called Matt Brad Plog 024. It reads, research could be going better. Everyone's under the gun. Ashley's pushing harder each day. We know the stakes, but she still flexes her muscles. I get the sense she has more than just survival riding on this new line of experiments. She has pride, and a need to prove she was right. I don't really know to whom. Dale has been getting a little close lately. Sometimes I feel at ease when we do relax together, but then suddenly I'll feel as if I'm the experiment. He's sweet, but a little intense. He's an excellent geneticist, though, and we need him now more than ever. That's the end of the file. Alright, well, nothing important. Here we go. Let's find 3 samples of angiosperms and use the analyzer when you're done. Ah, crop. Right you are. These fading stalks of maize are a bit old, but they should provide the angiosperm we can use to test. Alright, and I'm guessing... Nope. Nope. Nope, guess I was wrong. This is definitely one. Apple tree. Of course, what better angiosperm than a tree ripe with apples? This scan will help us in our tests. Okay, so there's got to be one more. Green beans. It looks like Miss Borgwell was testing a few varieties. Thankfully, some beans have survived. This is indeed an angiosperm we can use to test. Okay, that should be enough angiosperm samples. Use a portable analyzer to process them. Excellent. I've got the data from the angiosperms. That's the last piece of data we needed. I can run a full suite or whatever of tests here now. I hope we have better success than the Agrodome's crew did. It might take me a few days to complete my simulations, but it's something. It's unfortunate that this facility was so greatly compromised. I only hope we can make use of the work that went out on here. Though I imagine that garden must be a welcome change from the corridors of the colony. We must continue our work if we are to escape. So, when you're ready, please head back to the shuttle and come back home. Now, this is a much more relaxed fucking mission. Well, you're back again. Come see me when you're ready to sync up, as usual. Finally, you recognize that. You say that often. Okay, I've got everything synced from today. Have fun tonight. The fuck does that mean, man? It's time, Flubji. You know what to do, I'm sure you'll have fun. Hello again, Flubji. I'm just over here trying out a few new strains of vegetables. What happened with you today? A whole lot. I hope that's good news. The AI said you went to the research dome today. Maybe you found something that will get this work back on track. You know, that dome was my pride and joy, and my favorite place in the whole colony. I probably spent more time there than I should have, but I loved it so much. When those vines began to develop and ruin everything, the Agrodome's labs were thoroughly corrupted. It took a while longer before the research dome became affected. Without access to the main grow dome and its equipment, we were forced to use what we had on hand, but the vines hadn't reached the garden yet, and so we had a bit more time. But you saw it for yourself, I'm curious. Did you find something that might help our mission? Team photo. Oh my, that is interesting. I remember this photo, but now that I see it again, the way Dale was looking at Matsuko. Dale was such an excellent researcher. I think Hudson Carrier loved him for the position. He was so studious, so dedicated. They probably considered him pretty low maintenance. And you know, to be perfectly frank, I never even considered he could express such an interest, let alone in a coworker. He just never let on. He was strictly about his work. But Matsuko was beautiful and very smart. I guess she was the one that got through to him, woke him up, so to speak. I can't say I blame him for his affection. You can't? Well, sure. A guy like him, working day and night with a natural beauty like her, even without the secret, the stress, it's only natural he would fall for her. Did you find anything else in the garden that might help us? Ashley? Oh, no. I'm so sorry to hear that. Despite our differences, I never wish Ashley any harm. As I mentioned last time, Ashley and I had our disagreements, but she was a damn good scientist, at least before we all got desperate. And while Ashley was a valuable member of the team, she was also very ambitious. I don't think I was very good at managing her or her ambitions. You seem to be dealing with the pressure of the whole situation. How do you do it? I'm not really what? Some of these, this English could have been a little bit better. I see, I guess that makes sense. You're all that's left, just you and the AI. Did you find anything else? Plant research. Ah, I see. I can see the data you scanned now. So that's what we were up to in there. The biggest issue I remember was how difficult it was to get results fast enough. That was the main point of contention between Ashley and me. I was adamant that we needed proper protocols since we were essentially getting one last good chance to do something. She thought that speed was more important. You see, by the time we went to the research dome, our connection to the AI was tenuous. The atmospheric interference, the lack of power, we could only check in occasionally. You know, the one thing about our team that I always noticed was that we were all so very different. Different kinds of families, very different personalities. We're like a garden in a way, our own little ecosystem. I don't know, maybe I was a problem. Maybe I was a problem. I could never create that balance that we needed to succeed. You're wrong. You really think so? That's awfully sweet of you. It just feels like I was the one who didn't make it all work, you know. But listen, I actually have been meaning to ask you something. When you finally escape and get back home, what are you going to do? Travel. You're quite the adventurer. I wonder what kind of shape Earth will be in when you get back. It's been 16 years. I think Hudson Cartier has rules about what happens to crews when they return. Psych evals, debriefing, that sort of thing. And who knows what's changed since we've been gone. Public opinion, government regulation, all of it could affect colonialization attempts, among other things. God. With their situation as it is, I wonder how much data they even have on what's happened. Perhaps almost nothing. After 16 years, wow. It'll almost be like you're returning from the dead. I'm sure so much will be different. Well, in the meantime, if you end up at the agrodomes again, can you do me a little favor since I won't be able to go myself? Can you let me know if you find out what happened to Matsuko and Dale? Now you've got me thinking all about them. Of course. Oh, thank you, Flubji. That would mean so much to me. I know it's a lot to ask, but, well, thank you. I think it's probably time for you to get some rest, and for me to take some of this new information and get back to work on supplying your ship. It's nice to know that this simulated garden isn't the only bright point I have. Your visits, they're really what keep me going. Until next time, Flubji, please stay safe out there. Day 8. Flubji, please just see me right away. We should talk. Okay, I'm going to pick this up next time. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care and have a good one, everyone.